Hello children, hope all are fine and safe. You have completed your 10th standard successfully. So that is you have crossed your first level. So now you have to take a big decision and I hope that all have taken a big decision by choosing your departments. So some would have chosen Max Bio, some would have chosen Computer Science, some would have chosen Electronic Equipments. But one thing is, in all the departments we have Max in common. So you have to go with a Max. So I hope you have enjoyed your vacation. Now let's start our academic work. So now we have to work with full pack of energy and let's work with more dedication. So today we are going to start our mathematics class and we are going to see our first chapter, that is sets, relations and functions. Now this is not a new syllabus to you. Already we have studied about sets, relations and functions in the previous classes. That is, we have studied about sets in class 9 and about relations and function in class 10. So now what we are going this year is, we are just going to study in detail about sets, relations and functions. Okay. So now this chapter will be divided into 3 sections, that is sets, relations and functions. So now we are going to see the first topic, that is sets. Let us have a small recap of sets, that whatever we have studied in class 9th. Now what is set? Sets is nothing. It is a collection of well-defined objects. Well-defined objects. So what is set? Set is a collection of well-defined objects. Now I'll give you some example. A collection of all books in a library. Okay, a collection of all books in a library. The given statement is well defined. Yes, there's a collection of all books. We can count the number of books. We can note all the details about the books. Yes, so the statement is well defined. So we can say the given statement is a set. Now let's have one more example. A collection of good books in a library. Now, collection of good books in a library. Now, this statement differs from person to person. That means I may say the book is good, you may say the book is not good. So it differs from person to person. So we say that the given statement is not a set. Okay, so this is our, so you have to write down this under points to remember. So first point. So what is set? Collection of well-defined objects. So we have taken 2 examples, a collection of all books, collection of all colors in a rainbow. So we can collection of all rivers in India. So we can go on saying the statement. Similarly, you can give some statement which is not a set. A collection of good books in a library, collection of good authors, collection of best teachers. So just it goes on. Yes, children? Take down the statements, take down the points. I hope you have taken down this point. Now let's go for the second part. Now what we are going to see is how to represent a set. Point number 2, representation of a set. So we have 3 ways. 1, 2, 3. What's the first way? Descriptive form. The first way of representing a set is descriptive form. So what is descriptive form? Describing in words. Describing in words. So representation of set. Under representation of set, we have seen the first way, that is descriptive form. The second one is roster form. Here you will list all the elements. Listing all the elements. And the third one is set builder form. Okay. So first one, descriptive form, that is describing in words. Second one, roster form, listing all the elements. Third one, set builder form. You are going to write all the elements in a rule form. So describing elements by rule form. Take down the points. So under second, that is under points, remember the second point is representation of a set. This can be done in 3 different ways. First one is descriptive form, describing in words. Second one, roster form, listing all the elements. And third one, set builder form, describing elements by rule form. Take down the points. So I hope that you people have taken down the points. Now let's go to exercise 1.1. Write exercise 1.1. Copy the first question. Write the following in roster form and take the first subpart. X belonging to n such that x square less than 121 and x is a prime. Exercise 1.1. Write the following in roster form. So the first subpart, x belonging to n such that x square less than 121 and x is a prime. So here we are going to see 3 things. So 3 details are given. That is, first of all, x belongs to natural number. So we have studied already, natural number starts from 1. Whole number starts from 0. Whole. So whole means it starts from 0. And natural number starts from 1. So now here what's the condition given? X belonging to n. So you remember this symbol, yes? This is read as such that. So how you are going to read it? X belonging to. This is read as belongs to. So x belongs to n such that x square less than 121 and x is a prime. So x should be a prime number. Okay, now let's start the answer. So you're going to just write it again like this. Let A is equal to x belonging to n such that x square less than 121 and x is a prime. Okay, so now what we are going to do is x belonging to n, yes? So we start from 1 square. So I'll write over here, in the left corner you write over here, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is equal to 16, 5 square is equal to 25, 6 square is equal to 36, 7 square is equal to 49, 8 square is equal to 64, 9 square is equal to 81, 10 square is equal to 100, 11 square is equal to 121. So I have just listed all the squares from 1 to 11. So now here, let's see, I have taken only the natural numbers. That is, I have taken the natural numbers. That means the number that starts from 1. So I have just taken the numbers. I have listed some of the numbers. So now let's come for the second condition. X square less than 121. X square less than 121. That means I should not include this number. So we have to include the number till 10 square. If it's x square less than or equal to 121, this number will be included. But here it's not less than equal to, only less than is present. So what we are going to do? We are not going to include 121. Now what are the things we are going to see? Now we have to check one more condition, that x is a prime. So now we are going to find out, that is from 1 to 10, we are going to choose a prime number. Now let's start from 1. Now 1 is a number that is neither prime nor composite. Neither prime nor composite. Why we call neither prime nor composite? Because 1 has only one factor. What is that factor? 1. Only one factor? 1. What is the meaning of prime number? Prime has two factors. 1 and number itself. And composite, more than two factors. So this all the points are important when you go for the sum. So what is the meaning of prime? Prime numbers are those who has only two factors. That is, the factors will be 1 and the number itself. For example, if you take a number 2, the factor of 2 will be 1 and 2. If you take 5, the factors will be 1 and 5. If you take 7, factors will be 1 and 7. So prime has only two factors. That is 1 and number itself. What about composite? Composite has more than two factors. For example, if I take 4, what are the factors of 4? 1, 4 and 2 over here. So it is having more than 2. More than two factors. So we call 4 as a composite number. Now what about 1? 1 is neither prime nor composite. So 1 is neither included, 1 is not included in prime or nor in composite. Okay, now let's go for a condition. So x belonging to n, so we have listed all the natural numbers. X square less than 121, so we have chosen the number from 1 to 10. Now you are going to find out the prime number. So already, so I said 1 is neither prime nor composite. So we cannot consider 1. What about 2? 2 is a prime number. 3 is a prime number. 4 is a composite number since it has more than two factors. 5 is a prime number. 6 is a composite number. 7 is a prime number. 8 is a composite number. 9 is a composite number. So what are the numbers you have got here? So A is 2, 3, 5, 7. So what's the question? The question was roster form. So roster form is nothing but you have to list in terms of elements. So we have found all the elements in set A. What are the elements in set A? 2, 3, 5, 7. So all these are prime numbers. So it's a natural number. The square is less than 121 and also it is prime number. So what is the answer? A is equal to 2, 3, 5, 7. Take down the sum, children. Now let's go for the second subpart. The set of all positive roots of the equation x minus 1, x plus 1, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. The set of all positive roots of the equation. You copy the question along with me. Okay. So you are being given with the equation x minus 1, x plus 1, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So now what is the thing that you are going to find out? You are going to find out the set of all positive roots of a equation. So now from the equation, first of all, you have to find out the roots. After finding the roots, you are just going to find out the positive root. Let's see how to solve this. So now here we have x minus 1, x plus 1, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So from this particular part, what you get, we can simplify this in such a manner. X minus 1 is equal to 0, x plus 1 is equal to 0, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So what we get from here? X is equal to 1. Minus 1 goes to this side, so you get minus 1 becomes plus 1. Similarly here, x is equal to minus 1. This is x square minus 1. So we have to use the identity a square minus b square. So use identity a square minus b square is equal to a plus b, a minus b. So here a is x and 1. So 1 can be written as 1 square. So x square minus 1 square is equal to 0. So we can say x plus 1, x minus 1. So this is the factor. Yes? So what do you get from this? X plus 1 and x. The factors becomes x plus 1 and x minus 1. So x square minus 1, this is a factor, yes? So from this we can say x is equal to minus 1 or x is equal to 1. So x square minus 1 is 0. So that is x square minus 1 square is equal to 0. That is 1 is written as 1 square. You are using the identity a square minus b square. After using the identity, you get x plus 1 into x minus 1. Again the root you get is minus 1 and 1. So now you can just see the values for x is 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1. Do not repeat the values, just get the value for x. So what is the value for x? The value for x is 1 and minus 1. Okay, so this is the value for x. But now our question is, that is you have to write the set of all positive roots of the equation x minus 1, x plus 1, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So you just after solving this, if you can say, otherwise the question itself you can mention, I will just mention here. So let C is equal to the set of all positive roots of the equation x minus 1, x plus 1, x square minus 1 is equal to 0. So what are the elements you have got over here? So c is equal to, only you are going to focus on the positive roots. So I have got two roots, one is positive and one is negative. So I don't want the negative one, I just need the positive one. So our answer is 1. Okay children, we have completed our second sum. Now we are going to start our third sum. Okay, third sum is state whether the following sets are finite or infinite. And the third sum, we are going to see the first subpart, that is x belonging to n such that x is an even prime number. Okay, so now let's go for the sum. Now x belonging to n such that x is an even prime number. So you have to check whether the given set is finite or infinite. So now let's start with the step. So you say let A is equal to x belonging to n such that x is an even prime number. So now what is our work is, we are going to find the elements of the set A. Okay, now what is the question over here? X should be a natural number. Okay, and one more condition they have told you, that x should be a even prime number. We know that, suppose, now this is just for your explanation. Suppose we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. Okay. So now 1 is a number which is neither prime nor composite. So we have a small recap of prime and composite number. So 1 is a number which is neither prime nor composite. Now, you already have studied about prime numbers and composite numbers. Now, prime number, what is a prime number? Factors are 1 and itself. Composite numbers, more than 2 factors. But for 1, only one factor, that is 1 itself. So 1 is a number which is neither prime nor composite. And prime numbers are those numbers whose factors are 1 and itself, and composite numbers are those numbers who has more than 2 factors. Okay, so now here the statement is x belonging to n such that x is an even prime number. So just remember, suppose if I take all the set of prime numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on, the only even prime number is 2. The only even prime number is 2. Other numbers, other prime numbers are all odd. So what will be the element of set A? It will be 2. Now we have found the element of set A. Now what's the question? We have to check whether the set is finite or infinite. So now here I can count the number of elements. So if you are able to count the number of elements, you call that set as finite. Therefore we can say the set is finite. That's all. So we have completed the first subpart. Take down the answer. Now, under question number 3, second subpart, third subpart and fourth subpart will be a homework. So we have completed the first subpart. You are going to complete second subpart, third subpart and fourth subpart as homework. And now we are going to continue with the fifth subpart. Let's take the question. Take down the question, children. X belonging to n such that x is a rational number. Let's go for the fifth subpart. X belonging to n such that x is a rational number. So already we have studied the definition for rational number. A number that is expressed in the form of numerator upon denominator is called a rational number. So remember, a rational number always is expressed in the form of numerator upon denominator. That is P upon Q. Okay, now let's start with the set. First, let us define the set. So I'll say here, let B is equal to X belonging to N such that X is a rational number. Okay, so we need a rational number which is also a natural number. So now let's start here. You know the natural number starts from 1. Natural number starts from 1. Whole number starts from 0. Yes, children? So you need a rational number which is also a natural number. So now what I am going to do is, I can write 1 as 1 upon 1. Now this is a natural number which is written in the form of rational number, that is P upon Q. Similarly, we can write 2 as 2 by 1. Now 2 is a natural number. This is written in the form of P upon Q, which is a rational number. So now what are the numbers or what are the elements of B? We can have B is equal to 1 upon 1, 2 upon 1, 3 upon 1. It goes on. So do not go on writing many dots. Just put 3 dots. That shows the set continues. The elements are there. So yes. So now what are the members we have written over here? 1 upon 1, 2 upon 1, 3 upon 1, and so on. So now what about the set? Can we count the number of elements? No. We cannot count the number of elements since it goes on. So to say the answer, the set is infinite. The set is infinite. So we have completed question number 3. The first subpart and fifth subpart we have done as classwork. So you have to complete the remaining 3 sums under question number 3. I hope the sum is clear to you. It's very easy. You have to tell whether the set is a finite or an infinite set. Take down the answers, children. Okay, children, now let's start with question number 4. Take down question number 4. Write down the question. By taking suitable sets A, B, C, verify the following results. Question number 4, first subpart. And I have given you the second and third as homework. Now we are going to see the fourth subpart. What's the question, children? It's C minus B minus A is equal to C intersection A union C intersection B dash. So now let's take the LHS part. We are going to take the same set. It's your choice. I have taken the same set. A is 1, 2, 3. B is 3, 4, 5. C is 4, 5, 6. And the universal set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now let's come to the LHS part. The LHS part is C minus B minus A. So now first I'm going to find B minus A. So how you get B minus A? B minus A is present in B, not in A. So just see, present in B and not in A. So in B, 3 is present and also 3 is present in A. So we cannot take the element 3. Now let's come to 4. 4 is present in B but not in A. So we can take the element 4. Then 5 is present in B, not in A. So we can take the element 5. So what's the answer for B minus A? It's 4 and 5. Now let's go for C minus B minus A. Okay, so this we can, I have just given you in simple terms. Let's take C. What is C? It's 4, 5, 6 minus, what is B minus A? 4, 5. So you can just cancel the common term. So 4, 5, 4, 5 can be cancelled. And what is left here? 6. So what is the LHS? It's 6. That is C minus B minus A is equal to 6. The sums already we have done in our lower classes. This is just a recall for you so that you will be thorough with the points. Okay, now coming to the RHS part, we have two things to find. Yes, one is C intersection A and one is C intersection B dash. So let's find C intersection A. Now what is common in C and A? In C and A, nothing is common. That is empty. So there's a difference between 5 and there's a difference between a 5 in a set. This means it's a empty. It's a empty, and this means the set contains one element 5. So whenever you're writing an empty set, do not write in this manner. You have to mention the empty set as empty or empty. These are two ways to write the empty set. This is a wrong way of writing the empty set. So now there is nothing common in C and A. So you are just writing C intersection A as empty. Now let's go for the next thing. For the second part, C intersection B dash, we need one more thing. That is, we need B dash. This B complement. Yes. So now what we are going to do, for finding B complement, you need B and universal set. B and the universal set. So now how to find B dash? See here. So B is 3, 4, 5. So B dash will be whatever not in E. That is not in B. So what is not in B? That is 3, 4. That is, you should not take from B. That is 3, 4, 5 should be excluded. So what you will be taking? 1, 2, 3 is here, 4 is there, 5 is there. So 6, 7, 8. So U becomes, that is, from U, what are the elements you are going to choose? You are going to choose 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. So that becomes your B dash. Okay. So that is, B is given as 3, 4, 5 and you are going to find B dash. So when you are finding B dash, what are you going to do? You are going to exclude the members of B and you are going to write whatever the left out elements. That is 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have taken, we have found B dash. Now what you are going to do? You are going to find C intersection B dash. C intersection B dash. Let's see what is common in C and B dash. C is 4, 5, 6. B dash is 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. So only element common is 6. Yes, 4, 5, 6. Here 6. 6 is common. So we can say that C intersection B dash is 6. Now what is the next thing you are going to do? The first step, that is, this was the RHS part was C intersection A union C intersection B dash. So we are just splitting everything and we are going to combine all the things together. So first thing we found C intersection A dash, C intersection A. Then you are going to find B dash. Then you are going to find C intersection B dash. And then now what we are going to do is we are going to combine C intersection A and C intersection B dash. So what is the union of both the combinations? That is C intersection A and C intersection B dash. So first one we got as empty and for the second part we got as 6. So when I combine or when I take the union of both, I get empty union 6. So first set was empty, nothing was there. And for the second set what we have? Only 6. So when I combine both the things, both the elements, what I get? 6. So just see here, for LHS we have got the answer as 6. For RHS also we got the answer 6. So complete the statement. So we can say LHS is equal to RHS. Hence verified. That is, we have taken a suitable set and we have verified the given results. Okay. So from question number 4, second subpart and third subpart. I told you to follow the first subpart. And now, fifth and the sixth subpart, you have to follow some ideas from question number, that is from fourth subpart, and you have to complete the sum. So, okay, so we stop our class over here. And now, your work is to complete your homeworks and keep your homeworks ready. And you have to submit the homeworks once it's been asked. So, do not waste your time. Do not wait for anyone. Just do your work on time. Okay, children.